Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals. Alrighty, so today I, an American, am going to be drinking Swedish alcohol for the first time. Will Swedish alcohol be good? Will it be bad? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out, and I'm looking forward to letting you all know just what I think of Swedish alcohol based off this one experience, at least at the end of this video today. But what is the Swedish alcohol that is going to be my first ever Swedish alcoholic beverage? What is going to be the drink I'll be having today? Well, what I've got with me today is a can of Rekorderlig Premium Swedish Hard Cider, which is, in specific, a pear cider that was made in Vimmerby, a place in Sweden. This can cost me $3 for 330 milliliters or 11.2 fluid ounces, which is a bit high when it comes to price for a can this size in my local area, but you know, it's imported, so of course they're gonna drive the price up just a little bit more so than not. The hard cider in this can has an ABV of 4.2% and a proof of 9, and this cider contains 27 grams of total carbohydrates with 25 grams of added sugars. That's a lot of sugar, I'll be honest with y'all. However, I am not dissuaded. I am thinking that this will probably be a pretty solid drink if I had to guess, because this is one of my parents' favorite hard ciders. And so I'm figuring, well, if my parents like it, I probably will as well. So overall, I am very excited to try not only a Swedish beverage, alcoholic beverage for the first time, but to also try one of my get more jaw jumbled up. I'm not only excited to try a Swedish alcoholic beverage for the first time, but I'm also excited to try one of my parents' favorite hard ciders for the first time as well, to say it correctly. But I do suppose, without further ado, I should probably go ahead and start doing a quick little 360 of the can to just show it off and everything like that. Then after that, I think I should probably go ahead and get this can all opened up, go ahead and take a little bit of a sniff of the hard cider inside this can, see what it smells like and whatnot. And then after that, I'm thinking it'll be time for me to go ahead and take a sip of Swedish alcohol for the first time and to find out just how good or how bad Swedish alcohol really is, and to find out just whether I like it or not based off of this one experience at least. First off though, as said, we got to do a quick 360 of the packaging, and we can see there's a white background in the middle with a sort of pear-like green on both the top and the bottom. Just says Rekorderlig right there, which I think is an amusing name to me as an American, as an English speaker at least. I don't know exactly what Rekorderlig means in Swedish, I'll acknowledge, but to me as an English speaker, Rekorderlig sounds more like Rekorderlig D's nuts. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Below the name, below the brand name of this beverage, we can see there's a little bit of a silver line right there. And in silver under that line, it just says Premium Swedish Hard Cider right there. Then under that, we get a little bit of a pear design, just letting us know that this is indeed a pear cider. Under that, it just says pear in green as well. And then under that, it just says natural and artificially flavored pear hard cider. And then under that, it just says naturally gluten-free, vegan friendly. And then under that, in white on the green, it just says imported. And then we just get the size of the can, or how much liquid is in the can. And then we just get the ABV right over here as well. And that's pretty much all there is to the front of the can. Although, since this is a sphere, I do suppose there's not really a real front to it. Now, is there? But this is like the main design on the can. I do suppose is really the right way to put it. Let's go ahead and move over to this side. We can see that this is indeed a ball can. There's the barcode right here, a like Surgeon General or government warning saying, look, bad, dangerous, alcohol. Yeah, don't care, it's alcohol. I'm looking to get a buzz. I don't care about a little bit of danger, and honestly, that just makes it a little bit cooler to do, if I do say so myself. Wee ball, you know what I'm saying? Taking a look at the nutrition facts above it, we can just see it just says that this contains 0% juice, which is interesting, I'll acknowledge. Below that, it just says there's 180 calories per can, 5 milligrams of sodium, 27 grams of total carbohydrates, with 25 of those being added sugar, 0 grams of protein, of course. And then under that, it just says the ingredients are water, hard cider, sugar, carbon dioxide, natural and artificial flavors, citric acid, sodium citrate, caramel color, I don't know why that's in a hard cider, potassium sorbate, and sulfur dioxide to preserve freshness. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this, I'll acknowledge. Under that, it just says imported by Total Beverage Solution, 421 Wando Park Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. The worst of the Carolinas, North Carolina gang for life. And then it just has under that the zip code 29464. Then under that it just says produced by Abro Bergeri, Vimmerby, Sweden, product of Sweden. And it just says imported right there once again. And then they're just talking about like how to serve it, how to drink it right here. Just a perfect serve. Ice cubes, squeeze a lemon, garnish with wedge. Beautiful Swedish refreshment. Hey, if they say so, you know what I'm saying? They're really trying to sell the whole sort of Swedish factor really hard on this. And I'm like, it's an imported beverage into the United States. But they're really trying to sell it. They're really trying to sell it, I ain't gonna lie. Just says hard cider made with pure Swedish spring water. All right, if they say so. For retailers and whatnot, they've got their information, the best buy date on the base of the can, which is like a year from now. And then we can just see we can get some money per can and whatnot. And that's pretty much all there is to the design overall. The top and the bottom of the can just look pretty normal. Without further ado, I do think it's now time for me to go ahead and crack open my first ever Swedish alcoholic beverage. And I do think it's time for me to go ahead and find out just what this stuff smells like before I go and take a sip. So let's go and open it up just real quick, just like that. And let's take a sip. Or not take a sip, take a smell first. And right off the bat, smells like I'd have to say, citrusy, tangy, slightly sour pear. That's really what it smells like. Yeah, just based on the smell, you can definitely tell that it is very much that of a pear cider. It's definitely not an apple cider. It's definitely not some other sort of cider. It's a pear cider, and you can definitely tell that based off the smell. It really does smell like other pear ciders I've tried previously. And I'd have to say the smell itself is much sweeter than not. It's very much that of a sweet yet slightly dry, sort of citrusy, fruity, tangy, zesty, sort of pear-like smell. And that's very much what the smell of this drink is actually like, in my personal opinion. Overall, smells pretty solid, but it does smell a little bit too sweet. It does smell a little bit sickly sweet, I'll admit, but as long as it tastes good, I'm going to have no complaints on my behalf. But it does smell a little bit sweet, I'll acknowledge. Without further ado, though, I do think it's now time for me to go ahead and grab a little bit of a screenshot for this video. Because I need to do that. I need to grab myself a little bit of a screenshot for the thumbnail of this video. So let's go and do that just real quick. There's a breeze coming over here, though, and it's hitting my eyes. And it's making my eyes want to tear up. Well, hopefully that will do for a screenshot. We will find out. Worst case scenario, I can always grab another one after this video, I do suppose. Without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get my first ever Swedish alcoholic beverage. Well, I was about to say all opened up, but it's already all opened up. But let's go ahead and take a sip of my first ever Swedish alcoholic beverage, and let's find out just how it is, what it's like, and what I think of Swedish alcoholic beverages based off this one experience at least. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Overall, nice bit of carbonation right off the bat. Just a little bit, just to give you like a little bit of zest in your mouth, in my personal opinion. And very sweet. Really sweet. This is not dry at all. It smelled a little bit dry on the nose kind of thing. Wow, this is not dry at all. This is like insanely sweet. Oh my goodness. It tastes really good though. It's just like way too sweet for my personal preference. I see why one of my parents likes this drink so much though. It's in specific my mom's, I want to say it's actually her favorite hard cider. And she does not like dry, anything when it comes to alcohol. She doesn't like dry wine. She doesn't like dry hard cider. And it all makes sense now why she likes this specific hard cider, because it is just sweet. There's no dryness at all. It is overwhelmingly sweet. Mouthfeel-wise, it's a little bit syrupy. It is definitely a little bit syrupy and almost sort of soda-like on the mouthfeel. And I think that's really just due to the amount of sugar in the drink. A lot of the ciders I've drank in the past don't really have quite as syrupy of a mouthfeel, in my opinion. They might have a little bit of a syrupy mouthfeel, but since they might tend to be a little bit drier than not, that mouthfeel kind of goes away, I'll acknowledge. But with just how much sugar is in this one, it definitely has a little bit more of a syrupy mouthfeel than not, and it definitely comes across as almost a, like, Sprite-like mouthfeel, if you ask me. It's almost got, like, a sort of Sprite-like, soda-like mouthfeel, in my personal opinion. Not quite like McDonald's Sprite, but like, let's say, Sprite right out of a fresh bottle or something like that kind of thing. That's very much what the mouthfeel is like. It's not a bad mouthfeel, but it's definitely different than what I'm used to, and it's definitely a much sweeter taste than I'm used to as well. And overall, I'd have to say, the flavor itself is definitely not, like, super intensely sour. Some of the other peach ciders, or not peach, sorry. Some of the other pear ciders I've tried in the past have been a bit more sour than not, I'll acknowledge. Hard ciders, like hard apple ciders in the United States, tend to be kind of sweet, with pear ones being a little bit more sour, in my personal opinion. And it's, well, not quite the same with this one. This one is sweet, very sweet, a lot more sweet than the vast majority of ciders I have ever tried. It tastes really good. It's better than a lot of ciders I've tried as well. But it is just very, very, very sweet. But the flavor you get is very much that of a sweet, slightly tangy, fruity, pear-like flavor with a little bit of zest kind of coming from the carbonation when it pops on your tongue and whatnot. And that's kind of what the flavor is. It's a much sweeter, more fruity, pear-like flavor than not. It's a good flavor that I like. And in my personal opinion, this stuff is definitely better than, like, let's say, Angry Orchard. I'm not really particularly the big fan of Angry Orchard. I know it's like the standard hard cider in the United States, at least in my local area. It's where everywhere that doesn't sell a lot of hard ciders, it's what everywhere that doesn't really sell a lot of hard ciders has, kind of thing. It's probably the easiest hard cider to find in my local area. Excuse me. I'm not really a super big fan of Angry Orchard, though, I'll acknowledge. It's just not really my personal thing. Bold Rock, not really my personal thing either. It's like just okay. Like if somewhere has it, if I'm at like a concert or something like that and I want to have myself a cider, if they have it, I'll probably buy it and drink it, but it'll be like, I'd prefer to have like a Stella Artosis or something like that kind of thing. This is a bit too sweet for my personal preference, but it tastes really good. It's a really nice flavor, has a really nice flavor, really nice mouthfeel kind of thing. And overall, I would have to say that the Rekorderlig D's Nuts premium Swedish hard cider, I would have to say that it's definitely a more quality beverage than not, in my personal opinion. Definitely a high quality beverage, and you can tell that it is. You can definitely tell that there's just way too much sweetness in it. Honestly, I do think I would prefer this if it was a little bit drier. Maybe if they cut the sugar in half, I think I would prefer it a little bit more. But either way, it's still a quality beverage, and I do enjoy it more so than not. And I'm very glad that I do, because this can is worth $3 if you buy it unopened. I mean, it's not worth anything now, but now I've already opened it, but bought it for like $3. Yeah, it's a bit pricey, I'll acknowledge. It's a bit pricey. Do I prefer Stella Artosis over the Rekorderlig? Yeah, I do. I do prefer Stella Artosis over this. When it comes to Strongbow, I'd have to say I prefer, like, this over Strongbow. And I definitely prefer this over, like, let's say Bold Rock or Angry Orchard or something like that kind of thing. Yeah, I'd have to say I do prefer this over, honestly, a good amount of hard ciders I've had in the past. It's a bit too sweet for me, but I do prefer it over a good amount of the hard ciders I've had in the past, I'll acknowledge. The Citizen Cider Unified Press, definitely, though, still my favorite hard cider I've ever had. This is not dethroning that one by any means. The Citizen Cider Unified Press absolutely is my favorite hard cider I've ever had. It's pretty solid, if you ask me, and I like it a decent amount. And this doesn't quite line up to that, but it's closer than not. This is probably my number 3, I'll acknowledge. Yeah, pretty solid. I'm enjoying it, and I'm definitely starting to feel a little bit of a light buzz. There's something stepping on the leaves over there. Something's over there. Something's over there stepping on leaves. I don't know what it is. It better not be Bigfoot, let me tell y'all what. But I want to find out how well it pairs with a snack. That's what I want to find out now. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one and have one. I think it might be the neighbor's dog. That might be what it is. I'm not sure. That might be what is making the noise. Felt like I had to burp. Excuse me. It was an okay burp. I'd give it like a low 3 to 4. How does it pair, though? Well, I'm sure it depends on the snack, but I don't mind the pairing by any means. Let me just put it that way. I do not mind the pairing by any means, and I definitely have this pairing again with my snack and my drink. Let me tell y'all what. Certainly no complaints on my behalf. That is for sure. Overall, I'd have to say I do like the Rekorderlig Premium Swedish Hard Cider a little bit more so than not. Definitely worth trying. I don't know if it's something I'd buy super routinely just because there's so much sugar in it, but it's a solid drink, and if I was at a bar and they sold it and they didn't really have any other drinks I wanted to have at that time, you know, I'd probably be going for this one, in all honesty. I probably would be, I'll acknowledge. Although if I was at a bar, I mean, like, this one cost me like $3 at my local grocery store. If I went to a bar, they'd probably try to charge me like $10 for a drink is like way too much when you're just getting it off the tap or in a can or something like that. Like, if I'm paying $10 for a drink, I want it to be like mixed. I went to a concert like a little while back, and I was looking at getting myself a bev while I was at the concert, and I was like looking at their prices on the wall, and I was like, oh my god, a hard cider is $9, and it was like not even that good of a hard cider either. I was like, bruh. I was like, SMH, $9 for a hard cider? That costs like $2 at the grocery store if you buy like a 6-pack kind of thing. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I guess they do have a captive audience kind of thing, but sneaking in airplane bottles to the concert venue, now that's what I'm saying. They might not allow you to bring a drink in, but they don't find the drink, they don't find the drink. And you can always just have the airplane bottle, mix it or not. That's what I'm saying. Concert venue alcohol prices, it's a bit much. If it's a concert venue I like, and they have reasonable prices, I will absolutely pay for drinks at the venue, 100%. But $9 for one drink? I can go to the bar and get some hard cider off the tap for $7. Kind of thing. Like $7 for a hard cider, you know, I might actually be willing to pay. But $9 for just for like a 12 fluid ounce bottle? Like, bruh, that's insane. Like, at least if I'm getting it off the tap, they're using the big glass and I'm getting 16 fluid ounces for $7 kind of thing. It's a bit much. But that is a side topic. That is a topic for another day. I'm getting off track. I need to think if there's anything else I want to cover about this cider before I finish it off, because I am almost done. I am almost done with it. So is there anything else I want to mention about it before I finish it off? Nothing in particular is coming to mind. One thing I'll acknowledge, it's not the most unique tasting cider in the world. It's not. However, it is quality. It tastes good, it's quality, and it has a lot of sugar. It's not dry at all. It is all sweetness, which, depending on your personal preference, is either a good thing or a bad thing. I personally don't like fully dry ciders. I also don't like fully sweet ciders like the one I'm having today. I am personally a semi-dry person. I like a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of dryness kind of thing. That's my personal preference, I'll acknowledge. But either way, this is still pretty solid, and I wouldn't mind having one again, I'll admit. And I'm not really experiencing any sort of alcoholiness towards the end. Some ciders definitely do get a bit alcohol-y, like on the final few sips and whatnot. Not this one, which is something positive, I will acknowledge. Overall, you know, I feel like this pretty solid beverage if I do say so myself. Yeah. If it was warm, probably wouldn't be. But cold, it's pretty solid if you ask me. Well, I gotta admit, my first ever experience with a Swedish alcoholic beverage has been more solid than not. I have not minded having this experience today by any means, and I have had, I would have to say, a good experience with this drink. Do I like the Rekorderlig Premium Swedish Hard Cider? I'd have to say I do. It's not like my favorite hard cider I've ever had, and rating-wise, I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 4, which means it's something I would not mind drinking again, but it's not like my favorite thing ever by any means. But I'd have to say it's definitely in my top 5 ciders. It's definitely better than Angry Orchard. It's definitely better than Bold Rock in my personal opinion. And while it's not as good as Stella Artosis or the Citizen Cider Unified Press, which are my 2 favorite ciders, it is still pretty solid, and I do enjoy it a little bit more so than not. Overall, you know, really only minor complaints on my behalf about this cider right here. It's just a bit too sweet. To make it a little bit less sweet, it'd be just about right in all honesty. Overall, it's nothing insane. It's nothing super unique. This cider, that is, it's not anything super unique. It's not anything insane by any means. It's not like the most crazy, wild cider I've ever had. But I don't mind it. I don't mind it. And I have enjoyed having it today, I will readily acknowledge. Well, I think that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have ever tried a Swedish-made alcoholic beverage before. If you guys have, what do you guys think of it? Was it good? Was it bad? Let me know what you guys drank and what you guys thought of it in the comments down below. And if you guys are from Sweden, let me know what some of the best Swedish alcoholic beverages are. And if you guys have tried this one in Sweden, what do you guys think of it? Do you guys like it? Do you guys not? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm curious to find out, and I'm definitely curious to try some more Swedish alcoholic beverages in the future because, well, based off this one experience at least, they seem to be quality beverages. I'm sure there's some not quality beverages, but this one seems to be pretty quality, let me just put it that way. Overall, I've had a solid experience today, and I've got a nice little bit of a buzz going, so certainly no complaints on my behalf. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I drank some Swedish alcohol for the first time. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video today, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. Box, and my other channels all in the description down below. Go check them all out. Thank you so much for watching today's video, y'all. Till the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?